Hello everyone, video 2 of module 2. In this video we mainly focusing on editing different types of elements. So let's start with editing points and nodes. To do this at the beginning I just need to draw intentionally a special joint with very small distance from one of the joints. So I'm coming here, it's offset to X. So I, for example, zoom here and I put an additional joint here very close. You cannot see it easily. If I go closer, probably you can see there are two nodes close together. These kind of things may happen in a creating model. You may have duplicated nodes. You may have nodes are very close together because you missed the snap, for example. How to fix those? There is an option for merging joints. So if I select these two and I can come to my edit lines here, so I can see merge joints here, or I can come to edit and edit points and come to merge joints. So if I select these, I put a space of 1 centimeter or 0.01 meter. So if I choose anything more than that, it can help. If I press, for example, 0.005 and apply, nothing will happen because this space is more than the tolerance I define here. If I select them again and change this one to 0.02, then they will be merged. How they will be merged? One of them would be the main joint. Generally, the joint you have more element connected is the main one. So what will happen that this point will be merged with the grid point, which is the main one. That's what happened. And this is one of the edits you need to do all the time. You need to press Ctrl A and select all of them and then merge with to a reasonable distance. Then that tolerance actually will help you to reduce the number of joints. The other option is duplicate. So if I, for example, select a group of elements here and come here in edit, and here I can say select duplicates and also merge duplicates. So if I press currently 24 points I selected, if I mention merge duplicates, I'll say okay, merge based on this options. You can select or deselect them. For example, joint forces, joint masses, joint point loads. That means when you're merging, if these 2 points have different assignments, for example, by mistake you assign mass to one of them but your point load to another one, it merge all of them together. If you unclick them, then any joint which is merged with the main one, the property of that joint that joint will be gone. So you can check or uncheck all of them or check few of them and then you can apply. So it's mentioned that no duplicated items were found among, which is pretty good, but sometimes you may have. And you can select duplicates. Generally mentioned duplicate exists for 4 joints. So when you do this, that means 6 points are selected. There are somewhere like here. So when you come to close, you know why it happened. When you change the grid line, you actually move this line exactly accidentally to the location of this grid. For example, you had 1 meter eccentricity before, but based on the arrangement of the grid line and glue this frame to the grid line, you move this 1 meter here. That means exactly these joints are duplicated because there was an existing joint or point here and you move the other one close to that. So when you find them, then again you can merge duplicate with the same apply. Then this time it will be applied. So you don't have a duplicated number here anymore. The other item I want to discuss is adding grid line. For example, sometimes you want to add a secondary grid line based on some key joints that you have in the model that you created later and you want to see them in elevation. So the grid line will be created based on the joint is always secondary, it's not primary. So primary joints, there is a grid number, but secondary joints is not. You can edit it later in edit grid the data if you want. So if I select, for example, this point and come here to edit points and add grid line, and I need to select the right one. So this is in X direction, so I set constant X, and when I press apply I can see a grid line coming here that will be added to all levels. So this is a YZ plan, that's why we cannot see this. If I come to XZ plane, you can see the grid line here. Okay, so this is for grid line, and I think this is all for edit points and also align. Okay, align remaining. So let's do some intentional changes. This is set reshape element mode, which is very useful. So I intentionally move this one somewhere different with where it was before, and I change this one, for example, okay, somewhere here. So sometimes this will happen when you import architectural plan from CAD file or a structural plan from CAD file to SAP, or you during creating elements you may have very minor mistakes and have misalignment between joints, and you want to put them back to the right location for ease of meshing later on. So for example, here is X18 and I want to align all those elements to X18. So if I select them and come here, align points, or come to edit points and align points, I can select in X ordinate number 18, and when I press apply, these two back to the right location. You can select a group of elements and do this, and that would be really helpful to especially when you have a, for example, wall on top of these two. They need to be exactly aligned, otherwise you have misalignment and that causes instability in a structure because joints are not exactly aligned with the edge of the shell elements. So those are edits for points. Now let's see what we have option for edit lines. So for edit lines, I draw a few lines here just to show what we can. For example, I draw a line here like that, and then I draw a shorter line here like this. I have it for the type of edits I can do. So one of the edits generally you have is divide and join. So those are very popular. For example, I'm selecting this line and then I want to divide this line to 4 segments. So I can come here and say I want to divide frame, and how I can divide the frame, or for example I want to divide to 3 or 4 segments and all of them are equal. Last and first ratio, length ratio is 1. That means they are exactly the same. So if I press apply, I have 4 actually elements here. Let's zoom in. Okay, so I have 4 elements here instead of 1. If I want to do the same but with a different length ratio, I can select this and say, okay, the ratio of the last to first length could be more than 1 or less than 1. I try more than 1, but you can try less than 1 if you need. Generally we don't need such an arrangement, but I'm just showing what's available. So if I press apply, the ratio of the first and last one are shown that the ratio of the last one to the first one is 2. So if I right click on this element, I can see the length. I can come here in location and see the length is 1. But if I right click on this element and come to location, the length is 2. That means the ratio is 2. And the middle ones are incremental, equal incremental actually lengths to reach to 2. So that would be, this one is 1.33 and the next one is 1.66. So that's how it works. So this is for just divide for a standard. If you want to, for example, divide this element at the intersection point. Currently you have one line here and one line here, they are not connected together. If we select these two and then come here and say break at intersection with selected joint or line and apply, then we have 4 elements. Okay, and the other thing is divide from a specified distance from the end. That's really good. Sometimes you want to show some knee braces or anything. For example, I want to draw a knee brace 1 meter from each side. So how can I find it? If I click here, divide at a specified location, it could be relative or it could be absolute. How I can do that? This distance is always from the I end. I is the beginning, J is the end. How can I see that? Again, I need to just move forward a little bit to show you some other features to be able to explain properly. So if I come here to set display option, and in set display option in frame, I activate local access and apply. You can see local access here. So this is axis 1. Axis 1 is always along the element from I end to J end. That means for this element, I end is here. For this element, I end is here. So if I want to subdivide them, I need to say, okay, 1 meter from I end of this, apply. You can see this one. But if I want to put here 1 meter from I end, actually it's coming here, but I want it here. So this is the length of this element. I need to check here. This is from Y28 to 132. So the length is 4 meters. That means if I press here 3 meter, then I have 1 meter from the J end. Now I can draw my knee brace. For example, if it's not a knee brace, I'm just if it's a frame in vertical, actually a vertical frame, it's a knee brace. But I'm just showing in plan to you guys. Or you can use relative actually spaces. So for example, if I come here and select this one and set again all those space relative spaces or distances are from I end. So if I set half, that means right at the middle. If I say, for example, 20% of the length and apply, you can see a joint coming here at 20% of the length of the element. So this is generally for divide by a specified distance from I end of the frame. The other option is using dividing element with a coordinate plane. So if I come here and, for example, draw a line for you all the way and say, okay, I want to divide this element with these grids are actually the plane are what I'm after. So this is YZ. I said, okay, grid YZ, say x 4 meters. That means in the coordination of x4 in this plane, I have a cut here. You can see that. Or you can say, I want to subdivide or divide this element for intersecting with all grid lines here. So I need to again select the correct one. So I'm using YZ at visible X grids. So those are X grid. Yep. So when I'm choosing this one and apply, all of them are aligned the grid line. They are actually divided. So this is for using subdivide. There is a bug in SAP at the moment. You can easily, you should be able easily actually join them together. But if I do that now, you see that there is an error. It's very easy command. I raise this one with CSI and they are actually investigating this. So what's happening, I select all of them, but if I press here, you see just these two elements are selected. Here this element and these elements are not selected. So if I select the whole, you can see it's just one frame here, but here you see one full length, and also there are another one here. So it's a kind of duplicated element. If I select this, you can see one extra element is here. So if I delete this one, nothing will happen. Actually, I have one full frame now. So they are investigating, they will fix it, but the command is very simple as I showed you, so you can use it if you want. The other option you have for subdividing elements is you can trim or extend elements. For example, if I come here and select this line and select this frame, why I'm not able to select, okay. So if I select this end of this frame by this line, I should select one end of the frame. So if I have this line with this end and this line, if I use trim, it will be cut to this line. So you can come here, I can say edit line and then trim, and use trim and apply, and it's coming to here. So if I do reverse, for example, I have one frame from here to here, and this one I'm selecting this end. I can select like this. So I'm selecting this joint, I'm selecting this line, and I'm selecting this line, and I press apply in trim, then it will be cut the other way. Or I can extend the element. Again, I need to select that end that I want to extend with the line I want to extend to, and then press apply. Oops, sorry, I forgot to press extend. Press apply, and it's coming here. And if I select this line, which is, there is an extension here which is not visible, if I press apply, nothing happened. You need to have the cross section available. If you want to do this, you need to extend this line first or draw another line vertically up, then you can extend this one to this location. And let's just select few elements and see in edit line. We discussed about all of them. The other thing you can do is using this set reshape element mode, which is very useful. Again, I'll talk to CSI about that, but currently what we have available is this, that when you click here, you can see just eye and node will be highlighted. That means you can move this one, you can move this frame. If you click here anywhere, you can move this frame like this. And if you click here, then you can move it and put it wherever you want. But if you're using any frame connected to the other ends, and I choose this one, because this is end I end, and because of the arrangement, you can see this point is dark and highlighted. You can move this one wherever you want, and it doesn't affect any other element. But if I press here and I see this is highlighted, but I want to move this one, all elements will be moved. I'll talk to CSI to ensure, because this feature in eTabs is different, and I remember in SAP I use it easily that both ends could be moved, but they're changing features, so I'm checking with them, see if this is exactly what it is, and we cannot change it. There is a trick that you can do, but the easiest way is simply, if you want to move the other end, you need to move the element first a little bit far from any joint, and then you can move it wherever you want, but you need to actually activate this. Now, for example, if you want to come to the mid here, you need to come here and activate mid, and then you can connect it to the mid actually length of this beam. So I just put it back here. So this is for deform shape. So mainly those are what I wanted to discuss about frame edit